The tested is trained methodology revolves around the simple but powerful idea that if you don't ask, you don't know. The system was designed as the result of analyzing why the majority of kids leave the faith after high school and how we can best affect change to keep the kids on the path to salvation. You can read all about that in the book, but the point is that you as a parent, as a lay teacher or pastor can utilize this format to change the course of your youth. You are going to ask questions, a lot of questions of your students. You're going to ask the questions and then repeat the questions week after week after week. You are going to know what they know because you are asking them what they know, and you are engaging with them on the subjects that are critical for them to know from an accurate Christian perspective. In the end, your students will know the answers to questions critical to their decision to remain in the faith. You will find that you will be equipped to deal with the questions such as, how can an all-loving God coexist with evil in the world? Is it possible to prove that Jesus was resurrected from the grave? Is the Bible really accurate? Is it possible that evolution is false even though it seems that all of the evidence says that it's true? We will deal with a lot more than this as we expand our library of formatted lessons. What if, after spending 7 weeks in the Life series, for instance, your students can answer at least 30 questions about the creation and design of life that reveal God and destroy the theory of evolution? Would that be time well spent? Would those students be better protected against the lies of the world? There's no doubt that they will. The goal of Tested as Trained is to present Scripture and the evidence for Christianity in a way that destroys arguments and pretensions of every kind that sets itself up against the knowledge of God in order to keep our kids in the faith. When kids know this information, they are protected against the lies of the enemy. They are much better prepared to remain in the faith. As an overview of how to work with these formatted lessons, the lessons come in 4 parts. They come in the comprehensive test, the pre-test, reading discussion, and then post-test. The comprehensive test is compiled from the questions you've been asking from the tests in the previous sessions. We're looking at reading number 6 here just as an example. From the Life series, this is dealing with evolution and irreducible complexity. The comprehensive test, you will notice, is given first, and it's here after having already completed 5 lessons. The questions from those lessons from the pre-test are included in this comprehensive test and this cumulative test. And so you'll be able to ask those questions and put that to the students ahead of time. Again, we're going to ask and then we're going to repeat the questions again. In theory, when you start a new series, you will start at lesson 1 without a comprehensive test. However, I strongly suggest that as you complete a series, you carry forward questions from the previous series into the new series. Present the comprehensive test at the beginning of class. The students will see the same questions multiple times over the course of several weeks. The test should become extremely easy as they are repeated. The newer questions, of course, will probably require more attention than the older ones. Looking at our cover page that I put at the beginning of all the lessons, what we've talked about here first is our comprehensive test. And we showed you on the Life series, lesson number 6, we went to page 2, and that's where you saw the cumulative test. So you're going to print off both of those and hand that out at the beginning of the session. Number 2, we're going to be looking at the pre-test. The pre-test, looking here at reading number 6, is in this first column. So after the cumulative test, you're going to hand this out. Now this is for the current session's reading. These questions are not yet on the comprehensive test. They will be added to next week's comprehensive test. Each prep video will give you the proper answer to each question. Prior to the students getting to class, fold the reading page at the fold here dotted line and present the page to students with only the test portion showing. So you're going to fold along here. So this section here is all that the students are going to see. Is this critical? It's not critical, but it certainly keeps the students from looking ahead in the reading. Have students complete the pre-test column before they start the reading. The purpose behind the pre-test is to let kids discover for themselves that they've actually learned something in the hour that they've spent with you. Now, this can be a powerful tool in setting you up as the knowledgeable authority and can be disarming to the kids who think that they know everything. They can still act as if they know everything, but most of these questions will be new and confusing to them prior to doing the reading and having the class discussion. The next section of the format is the reading discussion and exercises. So this here represents our read. If we look at it on our full size, below the fold here line that we have on the other form, you're going to see your reading. So they are going to read this article and you're going to discuss it with them. Each preparation video for the lesson will have suggestions for ways to engage the kids in the discussion and or exercises you can do with the kids to get them participating. Definitely come up with your own ways of engaging with the kids. Use current events or relate things that are happening in your community or in the lives of your kids to make these lessons real. Ask a bunch of questions. It is my opinion that asking questions that force the kids to come to conclusions for themselves is the most powerful technique that we can use. It also sets you up as the person controlling the class, as the authority. We as a church have been telling kids what to believe since they were young. Your discussion and participation time is the time to uncover disbelief or skepticism. It is a time to empathize with the difficulty of understanding some concepts while reinforcing God's plan and multifaceted sets of evidences that make His existence undeniable. Never shy away from asking the kids to explain how things pertaining to the lesson would come to be without God. The final section of the format is the post-test. After the discussion and exercise portions are over, give the post-test. The students go back to the same questions at the top of the page and answer them in the post-test column. The questions should be easily answered this time. I suggest you collect the papers after each class and take a look at each student's paper before the next week. You aren't going to assign a grade, but you are going to learn a lot about each student as you go. Never miss an opportunity to address a student's question, confusion, or skepticism directly. It is through direct confrontation with such misunderstandings that we are smashing the fingers of the enemy that is trying to grab our kids. Respect your kids' intellect, test their knowledge of Scripture and the evidence that supports the claims of Scripture, and you are training them to impact the world for Christ. As always, if you have any questions, concerns, critiques, or recommendations, please give me a call or send me an email at b@bracebarber.com. Have a blessed day.